Hey son, come back. Don't hide behind a cloud. Just start a video about you. Don't get shy now. He'll be back. So, out here working on my tan, absorbing some rays. Now, why would you do that? Well, so many reasons. So let's get into that. A bit of a lessons from nature video about the element of the sun, if you will. Um, there's a few ends, a few angles to approach this from. Let's start with stuff that's kind of common knowledge if you do any research. Um, Sun tanning or sun exposure improves your hormone profile, improves your immune system, improves your brain chemistry. And I really like all that. I noticed the improved dopamine, serotonin, mindset, more relaxed, more positive outlook, better feeling of well being. Find it relaxing. I find these to be productive breaks where sometimes I think things through and realize I need to rearrange my priorities, and then I end up making better use of my time anyway, and getting more done that day and in the coming days because of a few things I rearranged my order of approach, just thinking it through. So it's a productive break. It's, I'm someone, it's almost hard for me to be still, but for this, I'll do it. It feels good. And I always wanted to live somewhere where I could build up a tan and keep it by having sun exposure year round. Finally, I have that, so I'm really enjoying that and working on that. I'm gonna build up a super awesome tan. Anyway, just one of my weird jungle fantasies I always had. Now I get to do that. But that's kind of more common knowledge stuff. Some of the things I don't think people think about as much, and I got some experience with this, and I know some others who do. Let's talk about tropical survival scenario. And this could happen elsewhere, but it's going to be worse in a hot, humid place like this where people worry about, say, bacteria. Um, and I knew someone with a rash one time, and when they went to a tropical place, it got way worse. They even took antibiotics and stuff, wouldn't go away. Finally, the light bulb came on, and they realized, I'm going to try the sun. They went out there, 20 minutes exposing that area to the sun. It was gone, never came back. Boom. See all that creepy crawly junk? It can't live in direct sunlight, bacteria and fungus and stuff like that. It goes bye-bye, you just zap it. Now think about this. Think about how they call it sunbathing, right? Think about how appropriate this really is. If you expose your whole body to sunlight, it kills not only like any rashes you've been dealing with, but also human skin is prone to housing all kinds of junk. You could have all kinds of low-grade infections and things living in your skin you don't really know about, um, that are limiting your immune system, limiting your well-being, making you cloudy and foggy and weaker than you should be or whatever. So regular sunbathing gets rid of all that too. It makes your skin healthier. Now, I'm not telling anybody to get burned, um, and I'm not telling anyone not to use sunscreen or anything. Don't make it about that. I'm just throwing out thoughts. If sunscreen, the evidence shows, is linked to increased skin cancer, and yet you don't want to burn yourself. Um, Now, obviously, the ideal strategy is if you have an opportunity like mine and you just build up a tan where you can handle a lot more sun without having to put chemicals on yourself. I know not everybody's always in an ideal situation. People are going to do things. People are going to take shortcuts one way or another. You could make a natural sunscreen. You could try that. I don't think any of them are strong. But at the end of the day, my mentality is, why are we trying to block out all the sun's energy unless we've fully bought into the idea that the sun's energy kills you? When in fact, when you start to become a grounded organism, you realize the natural elements are your vitality in your life. We should find a way to harness these things and harness them rather than, seeing them as the enemy, and we have to hide from them, fight against them, stuff like that. That mentality has disconnected humanity from the earth, from the sky, from the sun, from the water, and it shows. We're statistically, and this is not some doomsday thing, it's just facts. We're just pillaging and destroying, all the forests and everything on the planet, wiping it all out to make more cows or whatever to feed a huge population of people. Nothing's really being done in a mindful way. We're not doing anything sustainably. Well, you can't do anything sustainably if you don't learn to harness and work with the actual natural elements. So on some tiny scale, I'm talking about that with my body here with sunlight. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of Irish looking freckly guy that burns real easy. Real high pitta energy, for those of you that know about Ayurveda. So I sunburn more easily than almost anybody. But now that I've had this opportunity to be out here working on my pigmentation, I actually have enough. I'm okay, you know. So consistency and working with it. Now I can handle a lot of sun. I feel really good in it. I don't get burned. If I would have came out here for an hour without having built up a tan, I'd probably have blisters or something, be having fevers and hallucinations. I've done that to myself many times as a kid. Go to the beach once in a while and get sunburned, and I'd be in a world of hurt for days. But now, it's just proper adaptation. Now I'm working with the sun. My immune system's great. My hormones are great. My mindset's great. It's like euphoric sometimes, soaking in this sun. So, and then, I sweat like a fiend, which on one side it's really good because it's disinfecting the lymph system. You just have to remember to rehydrate yourself. I get up and drink like a gallon of water when I'm done doing this. Um, Really good spring water, natural spring water we have here. Another element, right? The elements working together. But that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to inflame arguments or anything like that. I'm just sharing that, I'm benefiting, I'm loving the sunlight, I'm harnessing it. Um, Down the line, we'll be harnessing it for solar power for the house. But, right now I'm already reaping a lot of brain chemistry, hormone chemistry, mindset, immune system. And, hey, vanity, I always wanted to build a good tan. I'm working on it. It's getting there. It's getting, you know, I'm a lot darker than a lot of people would probably think I could be already. That's cool. It's fun for me. It doesn't matter. It's just fun. Um, but anyway, it grows our plants. It creates the whole chain of life on the planet. It's a big life giver, and yet it's being demonized in people's minds to make them fear it. So you can be sold things you actually don't need and probably would be better off without. In some cases, again, not telling anybody what to think or do. I have nothing against any business or whatever. I'm not. This isn't anything like that. This is about being grounded and integrating yourself into real nature where real vitality comes from so you can have more of it, okay? And that means working with and harnessing the actual natural elements, okay? How you go about that, each person should be your own free will choice, decision or not at all or whatever. I have no interest in telling anybody what to do. I'm just sharing a bit of my mind, a bit of my heart, a bit of my passion on topics like uh, becoming married again to your actual source of vitality, which is the natural elements, instead of divorced from them, which is what happened somewhere along the line. I'm not going to point fingers, go into history, or bitch and moan about how. It's just that's where we are, humanity. And if we're going to be the caretakers of the planet and the natural elements, they'll be the caretakers of us. And if we're going to demonize them and try to fight against them, we're really just destroying ourselves and taking everything else with us. It's really that simple. So anyway, I'm going to go back to enjoying the sun and bathing in it, showering in it. Up until this week, this was the only shower I had since we got here, and it kept me totally clean. In a place where people are, afraid to touch. A lot of the locals, they're afraid to even touch the ground because, rats pee there at night. We're going to get some disease. I'm out there digging in it every day, cutting my hands in it and stuff, getting right into that earth. As long as your immune system's working right, you're fine. If you're so frail that you can't touch anything without getting an infection and dying, that is not. I mean, we're looking at all this backwards. What are we going to do? Treat symptoms, give you emergency drugs every time you touch the earth? Or do we heal ourselves from the inside to where, you work the way you're supposed to? You have your own army inside. You don't need some external thing defending you every time you get a germ on you, because you can easily handle that. So I'm all about taking in natural vitality and transmuting it and, improving on my mind, body, and spirit as I go. And I know a lot of you out there are too. So I'm just showing, just some musings on the element of sun today. Some things to think about. And I know not everybody lives where you can do what I'm doing, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or jealous or whatever. I would recommend if you live in some frigid, cold, dank, whatever place and you can't sun soak, I would say take vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 in combination. Read about that, Google about it. This isn't going to be a supplement channel. I'm not selling anything, including books or ideas. But I would look into that if I were you. It's a lot better than nothing. It's a lot better than not supplementing, because it's kind of unnatural, to be honest, to live so far away from the equator that you can't really absorb the energy of the sun. How many people out there know you get vitamin D3 from the sun? Well, here's one for you guys, and this is where I'm going to sound crazy to some people, but that's okay. Mark my words, 10, 20 years from now, eventually, they're going to name some other things that we've been absorbing from the sun all along. Just because it hasn't been written down and put in a book yet doesn't mean it's not there. There's more than vitamin D3, or it's not even D3. It's your body makes vitamin D out of sun absorption. You're getting a lot more. There's a lot more energies coming from the sun. They're not all named yet, you know, but just mark my words. Some down the line, when somebody writes a book, makes $1 zillion calling the new thing in the sun, you know, vitamin P or chemical K or whatever, you know, who knows, and makes $1 zillion. Just remember, you heard it here first. All right. So I think that's all my ramblings about the sun. Now I'm going to zone out and just absorb some. Much love to everybody and healing to everybody and the earth and all of us together. From Earth Roots Healing. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for subscribing. Comment. You know, let's have a conversation. Let's be active. Let's interact. Let's help each other out. It's a beautiful thing. We're all connected whether we like it or not, so let's like it. Much love, everybody.